Friends, greeting of the day. I am Dr. Ankur Vaid, Assistant Professor in Faculty of Pharmacy, UPMS SAFI. Today we have an interesting and learning lecture entitled NAAC, Assessment and Accreditation. Friends, for the present session, we have a speaker, Dr. Neeraj Varshne. Dr. Neeraj Varshne is presently working as an Assistant Director in GLA University, Mathura. He has done PhD, MTech, MCA degree. He has vast experience in the field of teaching and research. Sir has published more than 25 research papers in reputed international and national journals. His research area includes vascular network, digital image processing, and machine learning time series data analysis. So friends, after brief introduction of today's speaker, let's start lecture entitled NAAC Assessment and Accreditation. So sir, we all welcome you, sir. Please kindly start your session, sir.
Thank you, Ankur sir.
Welcome.
Hello to all. I'm Dr. Neeraj. As Ankur sir said, it's interesting because it has been taken care by the one central unit body that is known as IQAC in every university. And IQAC is the data powerhouse, which include the data of the entire university, whether it is related to the academic or the administration or something else. So today in this session, we are going to talk about the accreditation and the assessment process of the NAAC. NAAC is actually National Assessment and Accreditation Council. First thing, why NAAC? What is the need of NAAC? This we need to understand first. See, when we talk about this NAAC accreditation identify the quality of the institute in terms of its education, its research, faculty, infrastructure, administration, and lot many things. So another thing is, once this NAAC accreditation get done by the institution, you will get quality constraint. You will given here, if you are in process of NAAC accreditation, your workflow and the process will definitely improve, ensuring the teaching learning quality. If you are going for this process, your teaching learning quality will definitely going to be improved. Somehow when you will be in the process of NAAC, this continuous evaluation of the things will be there, and best practice for the quality improvement, whatever an organization out. And obviously the benefit is to attract the bright students in the university or the colleges with the help of this thing. So let me tell you, one NAAC is in the Bangalore, Karnataka. The vision of NAAC is to make quality assurance an integral part of the functioning of the higher education institutions. With this vision, NAAC move on, and these are the mission statement of NAAC. 4 mission statement. One is arrange for periodic assessment and the accreditation of HAI, Higher Education Institute, HAIs. Stimulate and the academic environment for promotion of quality teaching, learning, and research in HAI. And the self-evaluation, accountability, quality related research studies, consultancy and training program, and collaborate with other stakeholders of higher education for quality evaluation, promotion and sustenance. If we talk about the framework of NAAC, this is the framework. Briefly, I'll discuss about. Initially, you need to get the registration from the NAAC website. This is www.naac.gov.in. After this, you have to submit your IIQA, which is the Institutional Information for Quality Assessment. Then after submission of this Institutional Information for Quality Assessment, you will get a time duration of 45 days for submission of your SSR. SSR is a self-study report where you will compile the data of your last 5 academic years. NAAC accredited you based on your last 5 academic years. So you will prepare that data. The structure of the data is available in the SSR format. You have to prepare your data accordingly and submit on the NAAC portal. Then once you will submit that data on the NAAC portal, there is a process of data validation and the verification, DVV. They analyze, NAAC analyze your data digitally. Whatever data you submit on the NAAC portal, they will analyze your data. Somehow they can ask for more relevant data. They can ask for the justification for something. So this process continue for approximately a month. So whatever report you will submit, your data will be analyzed, validate, and parallelly there will be a process of student satisfaction survey. What is this student satisfaction survey? NAAC will ask the data of your students, data in the sense their mail IDs, their phone numbers, and NAAC will send one survey form to the students. Not the all student, a certain number, obviously. So those students need to fill that survey form. They just want to check based on certain parameter whether the students satisfy with the teaching, learning methodology or whatever they have in that particular institution or not. And after this all validation and the student satisfaction survey, a peer team visit in the university or the college for the verification or the checking the rest of the things. So this is the entire process of NAAC framework. Majorly, what exactly we are going to talk about here in this session, we are going to talk about the SSR, which is the key thing. Once you will submit your SSR properly, definitely you will get the, if it is submit properly, you will have a greater chance to get a good grade. So we'll talk about this SSR. Again, I can tell you, NAAC asked for the data of last 5 academic years. Second thing is, annually, since I'm talking about last 5 years, NAAC asks for submission of your annual report. That is known as AQAR. For example, if you are going for apply to the NAAC accreditation in the year 2022, NAAC will ask to submit, you have to prepare yourself for the last 5 years, and NAAC will ask you to submit the AQAR report, Annual Quality Assurance Report. So every year you have to submit this Annual Quality Assurance Report to the NAAC, and after completion of this 5 years, you have to submit your SSR. Obviously, you have been submit lot many data earlier in the form of AQR. So you prepare that data in more structured way and submit it into the SSR format. So here I'm going to talk about the SSR, which is the key component in the NAAC. So in this SSR, which we call the self-study report, this SSR contains the criteria, certain criteria it contains. These criteria include some key indicators, and these key indicator contains some metrics. These metrics may be a qualitative metric or the quantitative metric. Qualitative metrics, like they will ask you what is the process, how you run the alumni association. So they just asking you to write a para of the 500 words. This is qualitative. They're not expecting any number. They are not expecting any, percentage. They just need to know whether you have that particular thing in the campus, or if it is, write a para. If you have for example, if you have a club or the societies or the council in the university, if it is, write a para about it. So this is the qualitative metrics. Another one is the quantitative metrics. Quantitative metrics where they are expecting some figures and facts. For example, how many faculties you have, how many of them are PhD, how many of them are having great experience greater than 5 years. For example, I'm just considering one example. So they are specifically talking about the quantity. How many students you have, the pass percentage of the students they're talking about. So this is the quantity measure where they are measuring the quantity. So two kind of metrics you will find in the SSR. One is a qualitative metrics, another one is the quantitative metrics. So I was talking about this SSR contain the criterion. There are total 7 criteria we have in the SSR. Criteria number 1 is the curricular aspect. Criteria number 2 is the teaching, learning, and evaluation. Criteria number 3 is the research, consultancy, and the extension. Criteria number 4 is the infrastructure and learning resources. Criteria number 5, student support and progression. 6 is the governance and the leadership, and the 7 is the innovation and the best practice. So all criteria having their own specific purposes. Like for example, in the criteria number 1, they are talking about your curriculum. We'll discuss all those things in the detail. Criteria number 2 is talking about your teaching, learning method, and about their teachers and all. Criteria number 3, which is of the use weightage, is the research, consultancy, and the extension. In the criteria 4, they're talking about the infrastructure, library resources, other infra services which you have in the campus. Criteria number 5, they are talking about the student support and progression, where they are talking about what kind of, like scholarship, whether you are offering some scholarship to the student after completion of the course, where your students are moving for the higher studies, how many students got placed, whether you have an alumni association or not. So all these things they're talking about in the student support and progression. Criteria number 6 and 7 majorly talk about the governance, administration, leadership. So if we see the number marks, we'll see weightage of the each criteria. As I was talking about, the criteria number 3 is of the 250 marks. Criteria 1, 150 marks. Criteria number 2 is of the 200 marks. Criteria number 3 is of 250 marks. 4 is of 100 marks again. 5 is again of 100 marks. 600 marks. 700 marks. Total count is 1000 marks of the all 7 criteria. So one by one we'll talk about all those criteria. Like for example, if we are talking about the first criteria, which is the curricular aspect. When we talk about the first criteria, curricular aspect, so the quality education is actually based on its curriculum and the syllabus, we all know. If your curriculum is not strong enough as per the industry requirement or as per the current scenario, definitely there is some lacking in the education quality. So it is quite necessary. So in order to improve the student learning outcome, you need a relevant, detailed, well-organized syllabus. So in this criteria 1, as I was talking about in my previous slide, criteria 1 is of the 150 marks, and in the criteria there are some key indicators. So in the criteria 1, there are 4 key indicators. These key indicators are, 1.1 is curriculum design and development. 1.2 is the academic flexibility. 2 is of 50 marks, 1.3 is of 30, and 1.4 of the 20 marks. So total count of this criteria is 150 marks. I prepare one slide for each criteria where I just sum up all those key indicators with some key terminology. Like if we talk about the criteria 1, the key focus area is the academic flexibility, as we discussed. So academic flexibility means what? Choice offer in the curriculum. As we all are aware, that CBCS choice-based credit system is now we are offering to the student. Choice-based credit system means student can choose their subject as per their own interest. Based on their interest, they just need to complete the certain number of credit. Even government is offering that some of the courses can be opt online if they have some interesting topic or interesting subject which is being offered online through SWAM or the NPTEL. Student can offer those subjects. So the important thing in the criteria 1 is the academic flexibility, whether the curriculum which a university is offering to the student is having the choices or not. Is it like that we are offering the same kind of pattern to all students? So based on this, NAAC give you the marks. Choice like CBCS system or the elective papers, how many elective papers you are offering to the students. Feedback, whatever curriculum a university design, how you design that syllabus. What is the need of that particular subject? Did you get some feedback from the industry or the alumni or the parents or the students or some people? You get some feedback. So feedback is again an important thing which is covered in the criteria 1. That the moment you are designing this kind of system, this kind of syllabus, did you get the feedback? So you have to take the feedback from the employer, from the students, from the industry, from other places, and based on their recommendation, whether you are updating your syllabus or not. Curriculum update, as I discussed. So this is the demand of the current scenario, that technology change after every day or two. Like for example, if I purchase a mobile just now today, after a month or two, I realize, yeah, my phone is actually having the older version. I must get the newer one. Or there is a tradition that after 6 months or 1 year, I feel that I'm bored with this mobile phone because the new mobile phone is having the new technology, must buy the new phone. So if that mobile phone is having the new technology, obviously somebody else is designing all those architectures. All engineers are designing those architectures. So is your curriculum like you are regularly updating your curriculum? Is it like 2016 batch, whatever learned by the 2016 batch, same we are following and we are delivering the same thing to the 2022 batch? So curriculum update based on the requirement, based on the feedback of the all stakeholders, whether we are updating our curriculum or not. And the best practices in the curriculum, what we are offering to the students, how many practical exposure, how much practical exposure we are offering to the student, all these things are measured in the criteria 1. So criteria 1 majorly focus on all those things. When we move to the criteria number 2, this criteria number 2 is the teaching, learning and evaluation. So in this, as it is mentioned here, teaching, learning and evaluation. Teaching, learning and evaluation means the core of the education system is the curriculum. Learning process and outcome based. Now government is focused on the outcome based education. What is the outcome of the education, whatever you are teaching student? So whatever you are offering be outcome based, it should promote the advancement of the knowledge. The process should be realistic and achievable and aligned with the vision, mission, and objective of the institute with locally available resources. So it is very necessary that whatever education we are offering to the student, whether it is an engineer or the doctor or the lawyer, whatever education we are offering to those students, it is aligned with the objective of the institute. What is the objective of the institute or the vision or the mission of the institution? So in this criteria, we have the key indicators. Again, this is of the 200 marks. There are certain key indicators. 2.1 is the student enrollment and the profile. 2.2 is the catching of student diversity. 2.3 is the teaching learning process. 2.4 is the teacher's profile and quality. 2.5 is the evaluation process and reform. 2.6 is the student performance and learning outcome. And 2.7 is the student satisfaction survey. As I discussed in the during the framework student satisfaction survey, you have to conduct this student satisfaction survey regularly in your university or the college, and you will get those analysis that where we are lacking actually, what is the where we can improve, where are the scope of the improvement. So again, I find some key factors or the key focus areas of the criteria 2. These focus areas are the admission process and the student profile. Important thing is this, how you are taking the admission to the student. Is there any combined entrance test you are taking or some central test conducted by the government through which you are taking your admission? And what is the profile of those students which you are taking? What is the eligibility criteria of the admission in the particular institution? So this you have to define over here. One more thing I just want to clear you, as I discussed in my slide, that there are two types of metrics. One is qualitative, one is quantitative. So whatever I'm talking about here, for example, I talk about the key indicator 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 likewise. So there are some metrics in the 2.1 or maybe in the 2.2 or in the 2.3 which are qualitative, and some of them will be quantitative. Qualitative where we just need a write-up, and the quantitative where we need to produce the data. So the student admission and the profile, admission process and the profile, catering to diverse need. Is it like that you are taking the admission of your nearby places or there is a diversity? Is it like you are taking the admission and the maximum candidates are of the particular gender? So the diversity, you are catering the diversity or not? Like the across the country you are getting the admission from the different places or not? Based on that, they assign some marks to you. Teaching learning process, what kind of teaching learning process you have? You have the enough aids for all those teaching learning methods or not? Or you are running the traditional system of the education? What is the teachers' quality? Whether the teachers are enough capable to like they are enough qualified. For example, they are PhD or they are MTech or MPhil or something else. So their qualification matter, because once they get an exposure, they can offer this exposure to the students. And the evaluation process, what is your evaluation process? Number of examination which you conduct, the assignment process, and the result of course, challenges, all these things include in the criteria number 2. So the criteria number 2 is basically focused on this teaching learning process where we include all those things. Now move on to the criteria number 3, which I already talked about, the highest marks, which is of 250 marks, which is the research, innovation and extension, which is the quite necessary thing for any organization. So the criteria seek information on the policies, practice and the outcome of the institution with reference to the research, consultancy and the extension. It deals with the facility provided and effort made by the institution to promote a research culture. The institution has the responsibility to enable faculty to undertake research project useful to the society. Government is also focusing on the research. Government is offering grant to the people or the organization for their research. So research is a key component in any organization. When we talk about this criteria, as I discussed, it is of total 250 marks. So the key aspects or the key indicators are the promotion of research facilities, resource mobilization for research, innovation ecosystem, research publication and award. And you can see that 100 marks, it covered that how many publications you have in the university, consultancy, extension activity, and the collaboration. So key focus areas, I just want to be promotion of research, whether the institute or the organization or HEI promote research or not. The research publication outcome, what is the research publication outcome? Like quality, your research papers are there in the quality journal or not? They have the marks for all those things, that whatever number of papers you have, how many of these are the good quality or the weak quality. Consultancy, again, an important thing, that if the people, if the professors of the university are consulting somebody, providing consultancy to the institution or the other organization, research projects, if you have some government research project or the private extension activities, like beyond the campus, if you are offering some, kind of activities for the society, these are the extension activity. Like you move out some places in the nearby villages, you create some awareness about certain things. Like for example, you are creating a awareness, you are setting up a health awareness camp in particular village. So these are extension activities. So how many extension activities you are conducting for the betterment of the society? And the collaboration is like you are collaborating with other organization, other institution, other university, and after collaboration, what kind of activities you are conducting, whether you are doing some research or you are conducting some FDP or the PDP program after collaboration. So all these things include in the criteria 3. This is the criteria number, key focus areas of the criteria number 3. So our next criteria is the criteria number 4, which is the infrastructure and learning resources. It measures how well an institution uses its facility to maintain a high level of academic and other programs on campus. These facilities should also be explained in terms of how they benefited to the students, to the teachers, and the other staff. So in this criteria number 4, this total marks is of 100 marks. And in this criteria number 4, the key aspects are, the 4.1 is the physical facility, what kind of physical facility we have in the campus. Library, which is a key component in any academic institution. Library as a learning resource. IT infrastructure, which is a backbone to support the entire system, and the maintenance of campus infrastructure. So these are the key aspects or the key indicator which include in the criteria number 4. So the key focus areas, as we were talking about the previous 3 criteria, again the key focus area of the criteria number 4 is the physical facility. Physical facility means the number of classrooms, labs. If it is engineering, the required laboratories which required for the engineering student, whether it is available or not. If lab is available, the equipments which required necessary equipments we have in that particular laboratory or not. Even NAAC asks for all those things with the supporting documents, including the bill and photographs and all, geotech photographs. Maintenance of the infrastructure, how you maintain your infrastructure. In the infrastructure, a lot many things we can have. The buildings where we have the rooms. As per the number of students, we have the enough classrooms, tutorial rooms or labs or not. If you have a library, what is the capacity of that library? What are number of books we have in the library, whether that library is online accessible or not? How many students, how many teachers explore the library in a day? Number of journal subscriptions, online journal subscriptions or the offline journal subscriptions. Apart from this, the databases which you have in the library. So all these things in the library required or checked by the NAAC. ICT as a learning resource, the internet facility, whether we have the internet facility in the campus or not. If it is the ICT tool for the teaching learning available in the classrooms or not, like the projector, like the computer or the smart board or something like the ICT enabled tools we have in the classroom or not, or the other facilities which we have. Like you have some thing to show to the NAAC, which is the which is available with you, you can show here as a physical facility. But this criteria number 4 is basically include the infrastructure and the resources we have in the HEI. Criteria number 5 include the student support and the progression. This criteria include the highlight of this criteria is what? The effort of an institution to provide necessary assistance to the student to acquire meaningful experience for learning at the campus and to facilitate their holistic progression. It also seeks information on student and alumni profiles. So this criteria number 5 is again of the 100 marks, and it includes the 4 key indicators 5.1, 5.2, 5.3 and the 5.4. In the 5.1, they talk about the student support, whether students are supported by something or not. For example, is there any government body which is offering the scholarship to the students who are there in your campus, or itself HEI is offering any scholarship to the students? Like for example, if the HEI or the university offering some sort of career-oriented different program, or the for the, like for example, in case of engineering, the university is offering the GATE preparation coaching or the civil services preparation coaching to the student or not, or the for the development of the student, some more such kind of activities are running by this HEI. Student progression, if students, your students are moving where, you must get this information that how many students are taking the higher education in some other organization, and how many students got placed in the different companies. Student participation in activities, it include the number of award medal which your student achieved during that particular session outside the campus in the inter-university competition, and the number of activities which is being run, which is being conducted by the HEI, and the alumni engagement program. So some of the key focus areas, as I discussed, student progression, which include the kind of a scholarship, career counseling programs, competitive exam preparation, soft skill preparation, language lab classes, or technology oriented classes. These kind of things include in the student progression. When we talk about the student support, that what kind of support we are offering to the student. For my mistake, just consider this, whatever I said about scholarship and all, this is student support. Progression is something like we are moving from the students, those who are here are moving somewhere for higher education or they get placed. So they ask for the number of students who got placed and they ask for the number of students who opt the higher study. And student activities. Activities include what? As I discussed earlier, the students won different medals in the inter-university or the inter-school competition, or the number of activities which is being conducted by your institution. And the Alumni Connect program. Alumni Connect, see, they want how much you connected with your alumni. They just want to see. So whether they just need to check whether the alumni are contributing to the HEI or not in terms of money. Obviously, they also ask about the money, that what is the alumni contribution in terms of money. But apart from this money, what is the contribution of the alumni, whether they are taking regular session to the for their juniors or they are visiting the HEI for the different purposes, like they are the part of your board of study, they are the part of their some other initiative taken by the university. So in this way, how alumni connect with the institution, NAAC want to know. So these are the key focus areas of the criteria for 5. Next criteria is the criteria 6, as I talked about earlier, that 6 and 7 is majorly the governance, leadership, and the administration of the HEI. And one more thing I just wish to convey, majorly qualitative metrics are included in the criteria 6 and 7. I discussed earlier that there are two type of metrics. One is the qualitative, another one is the quantitative. So majorly, I'm not talking about 100%, but yes, majorly qualitative metrics are included in the criteria 6 and the criteria 7. So this criteria 6 help gather data on the policies and the practices of an institution in the matter of planning human power requirement, recruitment training, performance appraisal, finance management, and the role of leadership in the institution building. So in this criteria 6, again, it is of the 100 marks as we discussed earlier. We have the key aspects or the key indicators. 6.1, institutional vision and leadership, strategy development and deployment, faculty empowerment strategies, financial management and resource mobilization, internal quality assurance system. So the key focus areas of the criteria 6 is the leadership provide clear vision and mission to the institution. So whatever the vision and mission of the institution, whatever leadership we have, that provide the clear vision that align with the vision and mission of the institution or not. What is the strategical plan of the institution? Implementation of e-governance, whether the administration is connected with the bottom node through the e-system, so that the administration or the higher management can get the information about the anything related to the student or the faculty or the some other resources with a single click. So implementation of e-governance system in the HEI or not. Performance appraisal, whether you have a correct performance appraisal system, what is your performance appraisal, how you promote your teaching or non-teaching staff. If somebody is the assistant professor, move to the associate professor, what is the necessary things which you, what is the API system, something like annual performance appraisal system. So all these things include in this criteria 6. Another thing which is quite important, that teachers provided with financial support to attend the conference workshop. Like if teacher is going somewhere to, deliver some, like present their paper in the conference, attending some workshop based on the nascent technology. So whether the HEI is supporting the teachers for all those things or not. So again, NAAC want to know about this thing. Institutional strategies for mobilization of fund, how this fund is moved or mobilized. This is quite necessary based on the strategy, because they're asking about the strategic plan and they're asking about the mobilization of fund based on your planning. Also the fund grant received from the government bodies, they ask about that in term of project or in term of some resource development or in term of something else, you received some fund or grant from the government body as well as from the non-government bodies. So that you have to mention over here in this criteria 6. So this criteria 6 include all those things. Next criteria is the criteria 7, which is the last criteria, majorly contain the qualitative metrics, not the quantitative, institutional values and the best practices. This criteria focus on the innovative efforts of an institution that help in its academic excellence, and innovative practice should be a pathway created to future further the interest of the student and the institution for internal quality assurance, inclusive practice and stakeholder relationship. This criteria is having the 3 key aspects, 7.1, 7.2 and the 7.3. 7.1 institutional value and social responsibility. 7.2 is the best practice and 7.3 is the institutional distinctiveness. So what it includes? It includes the measures initiated by the Institute for the Promotion of Gender Equity. What kind of different measure that university is taking or HEI is taking for gender equity? So this is quite important. Facilities for alternative source of energy, like you have some alternative source of energy like solar system in your organization for as an alternative energy source, energy conservation measure, water conservation facility. Do you have some such kind of mechanism where you store that rainwater, which is called the rainwater harvesting system? Green campus initiative, what is the portion of greenery in your campus? What are the different initiatives and HEI is taking for the green campus? Whether your campus is disabled friendly or not. Disabled friendly means whether you have lift, whether you have ramp in the university or the washrooms for the disabled people. So all these facilities you have to be report over here in this criteria number 7. Prescribed code of conduct for the students, teachers and the administrator. The code of conduct, standard code of conduct for everyone, for the students, for the teachers, for the administrator, that within the university or the organization, you have to follow these code of conduct. So all these things include in the criteria number 7. Apart from these things, in the criteria number 7, we have the best practices. Best practices means which is unique and which is being followed by the HEI. So you have to report those 2 best practices in the criteria number 7 as discussed in the 7.2, which is of the 30 marks. Again, it's a qualitative, not the quantitative. They are asking about the write-up about the 2 best practices initiated by the HEI. For example, like just broadly, I'm considering an example that there is a day, let's say Saturday, where everyone used to, come with the bicycle. Nobody drive the car or vehicle inside the campus. So this is one best practice which is being initiated by the HEI. I'm just considering one example. So this is best practice. Again, you have to report the best practice in this criteria number 7. So NAAC accreditation outcome. So finally, these were 7 criteria. Based on that, your SSR will be you will prepare your SSR, and DV will verify all those documents. So that peer team, as I discussed earlier, peer team will visit the campus, and that peer team will prepare the report. Statistical analysis of the quantitative metrics. Again, you have the analysis of your quantitative metrics, which is being taken care by the DBB, and the institutional grade sheet. This combinedly give you a grade of particular HEI or the university. We can see the grading system over here. If the total, see, I told you it was of the 1000 marks, but NAAC, scale it with a number 4. So the maximum number count you will see here is 4. It is again a CGPA system, cumulative grade point average. So NAAC scale it with this 4 count, and if your count, total count, including the DBB verification data and the peer team visit, if it is less than, if it is in between 3.51 to 4.0, your university will accredit it with A++ grade, which is the highest grade in the NAAC. Again, then you can see here, so rest of the grades are here. 3.26 to 3.50 is A+, 3.01 to 3.25 is A. So these are all grade system which NAAC give after the verification of the entire things. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much for connecting.
Thank you very much, sir. It was a really very nice session, and we learned a lot about the NAAC. Actually, UPMS was established in year 2016, and definitely we will proceed for NAAC in the future, quite possible.
Great.
Sir, I have some doubts regarding
please.
that I wish to ask to you, sir.
Please.
Sir, is it necessary to take NAAC accreditation for any university?
No.
No. Then what is the benefit of taking NAAC accreditation for university?
It's a quality measure.
Quality measure.
Yes,
Okay.
because there are certain standards based on that NAAC accredited you.
Okay.
And if NAAC accredited you based on that quality measure, obviously you are fulfilling all these things. That is why NAAC indicate that it is A++ or A+ or A or something
like that of grading of students.
Exactly. For example, if we talk about a university where there are 1,000 students, and to handling those 1,000 students, there are only 50 teachers, right? So your faculty student ratio will be something which is not good. Or let's say it's a 30 faculties to take care of. So all these measures are considered while you will submit your SSR. Likewise, in lab, you are not having enough computer to serve the students.
Yes, sir.
You're not having the licensed software. You're not having the chemicals in the laboratories for the experiment. You're not having the enough journals in your library. So if you have all those, NAAC will accredit you. Yes, this university deserve A++ grade. It include all those things, all those parameters. Yes.
Okay, sir. Is there any financial assistance also provided by Government of India for NAAC accredited universities? Means somewhat of financial benefits?
Not exactly directly, but yes, there are a lot many schemes where you can apply. For example, recently during the COVID period, AICT Atal program was there, where they were conducting the online workshops.
Online
so
workshops.
They were offering those workshops to the government institution only, or to the institution private, those who were A+ or higher grade.
NAAC accredited with good
Yes. So everywhere you will get an advantage if you have a higher grade.
Okay, sir. And is there any time duration? Suppose a university was established in 2020. Then, as I hear from your side that there should be a minimum 5 years documentation program for
Yes,
applying next.
yes,
Uh,
yes.
okay, so can be proceeded from just the established of university means suppose university came to existence in 2020. Then
Mhm.
we have to prepare a document from 2020, and in the 2025 we are eligible to apply for NAAC. Is it, sir?
You, I didn't get your question. I missed actually.
Okay, sir. I just wished to ask what should be the duration for the apply of NAAC after
Actually,
establishment of the
NAAC,
university?
okay. See, Abhi recently chairman of NAAC announced that if even your university or college is 1 year older, you can take the temporary uh, NAAC
Uh,
accreditation based on your first year data.
Oh,
No issue at all.
oh,
But this will be temporary sort. If
temporary.
if your organization start in the year 2016, right, or say 17, you can
Mhm.
apply for the NAAC grade in the year 2022 with the submission of data of last 5 years. The
Fine.
moment you will apply for NAAC, permanent NAAC grade, permanent in the sense it is for the 5 year duration, not exactly permanent. But yes, if you will apply, so you need the data of last 5 academic years.
And so suppose we have accredited with A grade plus, A plus,
Mhm. Mhm.
and for how many times it will exist means इसका duration कितना होता है 2 साल 3 साल
It is of
क्या
the 5 year. A
5 years
plus grade is of the 7 year. Rest of the grade is of the 5 year.
5 years. Okay, thank you, sir. Sandeep, sir, is there any queries from your side, sir?
No, sir, I wish to congratulate sir for a nice session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.